Welcome to the Boxing Bookie. We are back. It's good to be back. Got a good one for you today. Gonna get into all the action. I'm gonna take requests, questions, anything like that. There's just so much to get into. We got off to a good start. If you are on my Patreon, I gave you a little three-way parlay that I expect to hit. The first leg, Connor Wallace over in Australia hit that today, so that was good news. So you got off to a good start on that. The rest of that parlay is still outstanding, but we should get to that. Guys, if you have not joined the Patreon, you want to do it to get the lock of the week. Going to have two locks for you this week, 1 and 2. So join the Patreon. Link is in the description. It's also in the box below. I'm also pinning it over here. It's also pinned in the chat. So guys, join the Patreon. $5 a month. It's the absolute best gambling advice anywhere in the known universe. That's patreon.com. And then after you do that, I'm sure you're going to have worked up quite an appetite. So go head on over to carnivorebar.com. That's carnivorebar.com. carnivorebar.com. Use promo code BOXING to save 10% at checkout. It's a meal in your pocket. It's the nutrition of a steak, the convenience of a bar. It's a meal in your pocket, the world's only high-fat, grass-finished beef bar that replaces a meal while on the move and stores for years. Get your travel autonomy and freedom back. That's carnivorebar.com. Use promo code BOXING at checkout to save 10%. Use promo code BOXING at checkout to save 10%. All right, let's get into today's show. Muscles is in the house. Guys, I want to answer questions, comments, thoughts, concerns, anything like that. There's just so much to get into. I know there's a pro box card going on right now. I'm finna get to that. I don't know. There's so much to get into. Like I said, to start, Connor Wallace got an 8th round knockout today. It's the only fight we had on the card. 8th round knockout over Eshmal Waleem, undefeated fighter. Justin Uni also got the knockout. A 2nd round knockout. See, we were talking to Kristen Mach yesterday, and Kristen Mach is like, well, I want to take him on a 1st round knockout. I said, it's not a terrible bet, but what happens if he gets a 2nd round knockout? And he ended up getting a 2nd round knockout. I'm not a genius or no thing like that. I was just like throwing it out there. Like, what if he gets a 2nd round knockout? Are we considering that? But it's a loaded week. There are so many fights to bet on this week. I don't even know where to start. I don't even. There's just so much to bet on. Half these cards are Sarah Bailey and Annabelle Ortiz. I gotta look up some of these cards. There's a card in Canada as well. That's interesting. There's 3 chicks fighting tomorrow, bro. Thoughts? Are you talking about the Canada card? Or are you talking about the Sarah Bailey and Annabelle Ortiz? Because that's a good scrap over in Canada. Let me pull this up. Let's get to this in just a minute. I am so tired. I'm gonna try to get through this. Yeah, okay, we're gonna get to that. Let's get to tomorrow's card first. I'm gonna pull this up. Let's lock in for something for Friday and Saturday too. We got to take advantage of these fights. There's a lot. There's so much. I'm trying to take this one day at a time. There's so much. Where's Friday's card? Thursday's card. I want to look at this. This is what this is what Muscles is talking about. No. There it is. This is what I'm talking. It's minus 161. This is not a bad parlay. It's Spencer Holmes and Devon Smith. It's basically going chalk, taking the favorites on tomorrow's card in Detroit. This is a Salida Promotions card. Salida Promotions is based in Detroit. All his fighters are in Michigan. Devon Smith, good-looking prospect. Adriel Holmes is his top prospect, undefeated fighter, 19-0, I believe. What's Adriel Holmes' record? And then Joey Spencer. Joey Spencer, of course, was the PBC Prospect of the Year 2 years in a row. I was never that high on him, but he's fighting a guy named Miguel Angel Hernandez out of Dallas, Texas, who's nothing more special. Joey Spencer should definitely beat him up. Spencer lost to Jesus Ramos. No shame in that. He got destroyed by Ramos back in 2023, almost 2 years ago, March of 2023. He's come back. He's picked up a few wins. 6-round decision, 5th-round knockout, most recently over Yanir Gonzalez, 5th-round knockout. And he fought in Linden High School. So he's taken a step back, obviously, since that beat down to Ramos, and obviously the issues with PBC. They don't really put out cards anymore. The fight after that, he fought in 2023, the Marcelo Fabian Zowski fight, 11-24-4 fighter who went the distance with them. That was at the Armory in Minneapolis. That was on a PBC card. That was on the Morel Agbeco card, if you remember that, where Chris Colbert got stopped by Jose Valenzuela. He fought on that card. That was the last time he fought a PBC card. He then fought his last fight in August in his old high school, Linden High School in Linden, Michigan. He scored a 5th-round knockout. Now he's fighting Miguel Angel Hernandez, which shouldn't be too much of a challenge. Him at minus 800 is not a bad bet. I would actually like him to probably get the stoppage too, but we don't have a money line on that. We don't have a line on that, so I would lay off. I think this Spencer, Adriel Holmes, and Devon Smith is a pretty good bet. I think this is pretty good. I think it's a good bet. In addition, I'm going to be looking at this fight too. I like Cristobal Lorente. I'm going to be watching. I know Francisco Grandelli. I'm a fan of his. If Cristobal, I got to watch the tape on him, but I'm going to do the Gary Cully video and this video, and that's what I'm doing for this week. Cristobal Lorente. Fighter out of Spain, 19-0-1, is fighting Francisco Grandelli. It's in Italy, which is a little concerning, but if Grandelli is the prospect he's supposed to be, then this should be an easy money fight for him. This should be an easy money fight for him if he's what he's cracked out to be. So we're going to take a look at this as well. Francisco Grandelli and Cristobal Lorente. Cristobal Lorente, 28 years old. He's put a couple wins together. He beat Mauro Forte, also of Italy. And Mauro Forte is a much better prospect than Grandelli, who's kind of old and a little bit aged out. Mauro Forte was a good-looking prospect. This was just 5 months ago that he beat Mauro Forte. So, and that was not in Italy though. That was in somewhere else. It was not in Italy, Romania, or something. It's a fight Cristobal Lorente should win, but I'm going to break this down. I'm going to do the video on this. We got Giovanni Estella and Jackson Blanco. And that's really it. This is not a loaded card. Is there anything else that we want to bet on this? Let me take a look at this Italian card because I can help you guys out with this. I was the one that told you Armando Casamonica was the goods, and he almost pulled a major upset on short notice. But I know these Italian fighters pretty well, obviously being Italian myself. Yo, Muscles is in the house. What up, Muscle? Hey, champ, what you think of the Rocha fight? I am gonna drop that video tonight. I just dropped the video. I just dropped the video. I dropped the video. I like Rocha in that fight. It is a very. I would not bet that fight because I could see all four outcomes happening. I could see Rocha by knockout. I could see Curiel by knockout. I could see Rocha by decision. I can see Curiel by decision. So it's just one of those fights. It's such a 50-50 fight. It's even on the odds. If you have a real feeling about someone, and I don't, I'm leaning towards Rocha. I think he's physically stronger. Whoever goes forward in that fight is going to win. Whoever is off the front foot is going to win that fight. That's what I know. All right, that's what I can tell you. The front foot fighter wins that fight. I'm leaning towards Rocha. Rocha's got southpaw. He's got the real good straight left hand. He loads up too much. He gets hit a lot. I think the two most likely scenarios here are Rocha by stoppage or Curiel by decision. It's a really tough fight to bet, Rocket. I'm leaning towards Rocha. Yeah, one at a time. There's so much going on. Akhmadaliev by decision versus Espinosa at plus 300. Yeah, there's a good chance. I mean, look, that's not a bad bet. It depends if Akhmadaliev slams on the gas. If Akhmadaliev slams on the gas, he should get him out. But we've seen him not slam on the gas before. We've seen it. We've seen it before. We've seen it on the zone card when he fought the kid from Texas. Hang on. All right, he did get Ronnie Rios out. He got Ronnie Rios out in the 12th. All right, I take that back. I thought that went the distance. No, he actually got Ronnie Rios out in the 12th. Marlon Tapales, he lost the decision on Kevin Gonzalez. I thought he won the Tapales fight. I was at that fight. Those were both on Ben Rodriguez cards in San Antonio. Ricardo Espinosa has only been knocked out once. And that was by Casemiro back in 2019. It's not a bad bet. At plus 300, it's not a bad bet at all. That's not a terrible bet, John Doe. He put out a video on Rocha. Yeah. The Rocha fight's real interesting. Curiel's a good fighter. I've met him. He's changed a lot. Here's what I would say, Ryan. Go back, watch his fight that kind of put him on his map back in 2021. It was a Golden Boy card. He fought Kendo Castaneda, a tough guy from San Antonio, a journeyman who fought on the last shot, Pro Box Series. A real good fighter. He just fought on a top-ranked card. He fought Kendo Castaneda, and he was moving combinations. He was using the ring, and he's really changed things up. He changed himself stylistically, which is interesting. So the Espinosa, he's changed a lot. He's a lot more flat-footed. He's a lot more stage series. A lot more come forward now, which I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. He's still good. I like Curiel, but I'm leaning towards Rocha just by a hair. Espinosa has a chin. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. I'm staying away from Rocha Curiel. Tough bet. It's a really, really tough fight to bet. I don't even like anything. I don't even like the over. Is there an over? Let me pull it up. There's just nothing I like on that bet. There's nothing that I think is worth the risk on this bet. There are better things to fight, like Mason Cartwright. Easy money bet. Do I have this up? Yeah. Yeah, we have no props on this shit, so I don't even like it to go over. I don't really like any of it. I could see this being knocked out. I guess I kind of like the over in this fight. but I don't know. I'm not in love with that. We'll see what the odds are when they drop. Guys, you're going to want to join the Patreon. Come on over to the Patreon and get the props, because there's going to be some fights where the props haven't dropped yet on DraftKings. And once I get the odds, there's going to be a lot of money this week to be made on props. A lot of money to be made on props. Guys, I really like this chalk parlay, 3-leg parlay. I like this parlay for tomorrow. Devell Smith, Joey Spencer, Adriel Holmes. I like that a lot. After that, we're going to get into this Friday card. Cristobal Lorente, Francesco Grandelli. That's an interesting one. Giovanni Estella and Jackson Blanco. There's some interesting fights on this card, but I think at minus 230. Do we have props on this? Gosh dang it. That's a fight that goes the distance. I really like the over on that. I like the over. And I want to get in on that, but there's no props. But I'm gonna do that video next. Those are the 2 next videos I'm finna do. All right. But let me know what you guys think. You look at a lot of these fights, and they're just so wide. The odds are just so wide, and there's no props. There's just no more. There's no money to be made on a lot of these fights. It's definitely a week of one-sided mismatches outside of a couple of fights. It's really Vidal Riley, Gary Cully. This is an interesting one. I like Maxi Hughes as a standalone bet. I like Maxi Hughes. Stephen McKenna, I think, wins the fight. That might be something to pick. Siobhan Clark is something to pick. There's some money to be made here. There's absolutely some money to be made here. But let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts, comments below. There's just a lot. Do you guys have any specific questions? It's so much to wrap your head around. You want me to try to get into? Let me try to get into some of these fights here. I like Alexis Rocha. This is an even money fight. I'm not going to bet on this fight at all. I'm going to entirely lay off this fight. I'm not confident that Rocha wins this fight. I'd give him about a 45% chance of winning. Jaime Munguia, minus 2,500. This is down from minus 4,000. Now would be a good time to get your parlay in and get this fight in. There's no props. I want to take him by stoppage. Here we go. Munguia by KO TKO is minus 550. I think that's an interesting bet. That is a real interesting bet. That might be something you want to add. I definitely think Munguia gets the stoppage in this fight. I can't see Sorsay lasting the distance. That doesn't seem realistic to me. So I like that a lot. What's the over under at 5.5? Ooh, I probably like the over on that. That's a real interesting one. But I would lay off that. Take Munguia by stoppage here at minus 550. I think that's a really, really good bet. Really good bet. Bruno Sorsay, undefeated guy. He's fought nobody. Fights out of France, 25-4 knockouts, can't hit, not super athletic, not a great mover. His best win is a 12th-round stoppage over Jean Auberjon, and that's really all he's got. Other than that, I mean, you look at his resume, it is super, super weak. I did the video on that. There's just not a lot on him. This guy's going to get knocked out. He tries to be a mover, but he's not very fast kind of guy. This guy's not the one. He's not the one. I like all the female fights in the favorites. Yeah, I like all the favorites too in the female fights. And right now I have no props to bet on. I would take the over. I would definitely take the over on that. I like Chevron Clark. I like Steve McKenna. I like Maxi Hughes. I like these three. So for Thursday, I would just take a chalk parlay with Spencer, Adriel Holmes, and DeBell Smith. Here's something I'm gonna look. This is not a lock. This is not the lock of the week. Here's something that I kind of like. I'm gonna throw a little bit of money on. Maxi Hughes, Steve McKenna, Siobhan Clark, money line, money line, money line. I like this a lot. It's let me get Munguia off. It's plus 179 if all three hit. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I don't know why it feels like it should be higher than plus 179, but I think I'm going to put a little bet on this 3-leg parlay. I'm not 100% uber confident in these guys, but it's going to be a little bet. It's going to be little. All right. But I like that. Another parlay I like. There's no over on this Natasha Jonas fight. That is killing me. How do you guys feel about this? This is going to be the biggest bet in the world, but MJ moneyline, Natasha Jonas moneyline, Munguia by stoppage, minus 294, 3-leg parlay, safe. I like this as a bet. I really, really like this as a bet. Madrimov, Natasha Jonas moneyline, Munguia KO, TKO, DQ. How do you guys feel about that? I think that's a pretty good bet. Like I think that hits, and I think it's safe. And it's minus 294. It's not the best odds, but it's not terrible odds either. John says FanDuel and Bet365 have props for all the female fighters, so I haven't seen none of them DraftKings. I'm going to wait on DraftKings. I definitely want to take the over on some of these things. The over on women's fights are always good. They always hit. So I got you guys a lock for tomorrow. If you're in the Patreon, you got a lock already. Okay. The first leg of the lock hit. That was Connor Wallace. It hit this morning. I'm not going to tell you the rest of the lock. You have to join the Patreon. But if Spencer and Adriel Holmes hit, then we're home safely. I think all 3 legs were safe. Well, I just told you what it was. So I got 2 legs. So the lock, I'm gonna spill the beans here because there's not that many people in the audience. The lock that I gave everybody was Wallace, Joey Spencer, and Adriel Holmes money line, 3-leg parlay. First leg hit. 2 other legs are outstanding tomorrow. And we'll probably take a look at that and go live after this tomorrow, or I might wait till after Friday's fight and kind of recap both of them. That's that. Yeah, I'm going to wait for there to be more props out. I'm going to wait for more props. Right now, there's just not a lot of props to bet on. And I'm going to get to the Gary Cully fight against Maxi Hughes, which I'm telling you, I like Maxi Hughes. And then I'm going to do the Francisco Grandelli fight as well. So there's which is Cristobal Lorente, Francisco Grandelli. I'm going to get a video off of that fight. So I'm going to get you those 2 videos. Hughes, and Cully, and Grandelli, and Lorente. Those are the two that I'm going to do next. I'm going to get those out for you guys. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you have any thoughts, comments, concerns, anything like that. Otherwise, I'm going to get going. I'm going to wrap this up. There's not a ton of going on in the chat. There's not a ton of y'all here. Appreciate everyone showing up. But there'll be more for you guys tomorrow. Let me get to this. I will probably go live late tomorrow after that DAZN card. We'll recap. We'll count our money together. And then I can give you guys picks, thoughts, comments, concerns on the Friday, Saturday fights. Give me a lot more time to kind of look at this and kind of break things down. But I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for showing up. I'm going to end this now unless you guys have any last minute questions, comments, thoughts. If you guys have anything like that, put it in the chat now. Otherwise, I'm going to be out this bitch in just a minute. Assad says we're waiting for Mayweather to come back from London. I thought he got kicked out of London. I thought he's not allowed in London anymore or something like that. What happened exactly there? I don't stay up on the news, rumors, and stuff like that anymore like I used to. I want to wait a minute to see if Assad chimes in and lets me know what happened with that. Otherwise, I'm going to end this now. I'm going to get to... All right. All right. I'm going to wrap this up, y'all. Oh, now some people are coming in the chat. Again, if there's any last minute questions, comments, thoughts, super chats, anything like that, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to end this. Rocket, yeah. I like Rocha. I like Rocha. I don't love the bet. I'm iffy on it. It's a 50-50 fight. I'm leaning towards Rocha ever so bit. I'm not betting on the fight. I'm not confident enough. I think there are better fights, better bets to be made. But if you're asking me to pick a winner, I'm taking Rocha. Oh, anti-Israel protesters after Floyd. What did Floyd's... I don't want to get my channel banned. I don't know what you're allowed to say anymore, but I get it. I get it. All right, y'all. I'm going to wrap this up. Rocket, so I like Rocha. No thoughts on the Floyd thing. No comment on that. It is December 11th, 2024 from Texas to the world. Thank you, and God bless.